How much does it cost to live in Hawaii? Well, there's my electric bill. I don't know if you can see that. That's just one of the many costs that Hawaii has, and it's one of the trade-offs for living in paradise. We're going to get into this video and really let you know what the cost of living are like. This is just electric bill, but we got other things that we got to consider with our daily lives too. Milk, bread, water, gas, these types of things. And then of course, real estate, right? We're going to get into renting, buying, right? And if you're a homeowner, typical mortgages, median home prices, all these things that we're going to get into this video, just in case, you need to understand more about what it's like to live in Hawaii if you are considering moving to Hawaii. And we're going to get after it right now. What's going on, you guys? My name is Ryan Strong. I am a real estate agent out here in Hawaii, more specifically on the island of Oahu. And if you are new to this channel is all about living in Hawaii, what it's like to live out here. I grew up here. And if you are considering making the move to Hawaii, this channel is to provide you that information and resource that most others won't. We have vlog tours where we get out in the communities. I actually show you the communities, the drive around the communities, the homes. We have home tours. We have all kinds of things on this channel. So if you are new, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you stay up to date every time I post a new video. And honestly, guys, I'm getting so many calls, texts, emails, people moving to Hawaii, and they, I absolutely love it, right? I absolutely love when people are reaching out, whether you're renting or buying, whatever reason you're moving out here for. Go ahead and reach out, send me that text, email, give me that phone call, and we'll definitely talk about your move and the best place that maybe fits your lifestyle. As you saw in the beginning of this video, I showed you my actual electric bill. That's actually on the lighter end of the spectrum there. See, these things depending on the size of the home and all the things that you're using inside the house. But in reality, Hawaii actually does charge the most for kilowatt per hour in the United States. Okay, on average, it was about 32 cents per kilowatt hour in the United States. That's not even close to anybody else in the United States. It's the highest in the nation. It's outrageous. And so, like I said, if you have a bigger house and you're running the AC all the time, and all these things, these can really factor into, and we're gonna take a deep dive into the cost of living in Hawaii as of recording this video, because these things fluctuate. Recording this video at the end of May in 2021. Okay, and so that was not that bad. This one's $331.35. I live in over a 2,000 square foot home. What do we have? Four bedrooms and 3 baths, and so I mean, it's a pretty good size home, and that's not bragging by any means at all. Please don't think that. That's just me to give you an idea of, okay, he lives in a single family home, and we do run the AC pretty constantly. But for me, my wife gets mad at me. I kind of keep it on the higher end so it doesn't run and try to freeze the house all the time and battle the heat outside. But a lot of times too, when the seasons change and we do have a breeze, we'll open up the windows and let the wind come in and air out the house and those types of things. So like I said, Hawaii does have the highest national rate for electricity, and HECO, which is Hawaiian Electric Company, they pretty much have it monopolized out here. There's no getting around it. There's no shopping electric companies and things like that. I know in Texas, you can basically shop, who you want to do your electric with. That's not the case here. You have one option and one option only, or you can go live outside. That's pretty much it. And yeah, so they give you like these bills though, and they're pretty detailed as far as how much you're using per day and these types of things. They got a cool graph that will show you, it'll tell you like your kilowatt per hour. So apparently ours for this time frame of a month was 1101. That was a 32-day time frame. Kilowatt hours per day was about 34.41. So it even says that we were at $9.73 per day for that time frame. I'm imagining that is going up as we are kicking off into summer, and I have 2 kids in the house, and so we can't just have a sauna in here. If it were up to me and I can be frugal sometimes, we probably would, and we'd be sweating a lot, but we can't do that. So I imagine that electric bill is probably going to go up. Maybe we'll even do an update, so go ahead and stay tuned for that. So yeah, that's the electric side of things. And again, if you live in a smaller place where we used to live, we actually used to live in a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and our electric bill was often, around anywhere from 130 to 150. But we bought portable AC because that's another common thing out here. The newer, more modern homes will have either central AC built with them, right, or a oh man, I lost the words. Another AC system, a split AC system. There we go. Woo. They will have a split AC system or the central AC system in the newer, more modern homes. If you move into an older style home, most likely you're going to have a window AC, or you're going to, your favorite store and you're buying a portable AC, which is what we did. We used to live in a smaller 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom townhome, and we had a portable AC. And during the summer, that thing was on constantly. That thing was on pretty constantly. But we also lived up in a hill, and we got a lot of breeze, especially during the fall and winter, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But again, when we would run the AC, it would get up closer to 200. So those are the types of things that you can expect for sizes of homes. I gave you 2 different sizes of homes to really compare to. We talked about the smaller home, typically around 150. With the larger home, I showed you the bill. It was up above 300, and it's probably going to go up. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these other things that are pretty expensive out here in Hawaii. If you got to put it into perspective here, we're going to get into real estate, don't worry. But put it in perspective here, when cost of goods, a lot of the things that are made out of state, they all got to be shipped here, right? And so if consumers are not increasing their prices, then they're not making a profit, and then they're not in business, right? So cost of goods, a gallon of milk, typically you're going to see a gallon of milk $5 and up. That's baseline. That's baseline. No matter where you go, I'd be surprised if you saw anything less than $5. If you see anything less than $5, leave it in the comments. But it's gonna be $5 and up, depending on where you shop. Costco, Safeway, Foodland, doesn't matter. Foodland is like our grocery store out here. Foodland and Safeway mostly. Times is another one. It's gonna be about $5 and up for a gallon of milk. Cost of eggs. I've heard crazy prices about cost of eggs. I shop at Costco for a lot of my bulk items, but I do get my eggs from Costco. We actually just went shopping and I got 18 eggs for like $3 at Costco. But I've heard people from other islands like Kauai. Somebody told me from Kauai that they paid $9 for a dozen eggs. I was like, oh my God. $9 for a dozen eggs is crazy. That is absolutely insane. That's incredible. Like, how does that even happen, right? And so that's one of the things we got to consider, especially when that's something it's pretty common in our daily lives. Okay, one of the other common things out here too is water. So typically a lot of people out here will get filtered water in 5-gallon jugs delivered to their door. We get 5 jugs a month, and that typically runs us about $80. And then we have the system, and you put the jug in the top, and it's upside down, and it gets cold water from the filtered or the clean water, I guess. And that's not to say that the sink water is dirty or anything like that. Maybe it's just something like we grew up doing and we've always done it. It's if you go to another state and you say the water tastes different, right? That's the kind of things that start to go through your head. So that's all we've always done. If I go to, like, when we go to Vegas and I drink the water in Vegas, it tastes weird to me. But so we order filtered water here at the house, and we get 5 jugs a month. That runs us about $80 a month. Some of the other costs that we got to consider here are gas. Now, as of the end of May 2021, gas is going up. We're not going to get into why. We're not going to get into any of that. Gas is going up. I just got gas again the other day at Costco, and it was $3.42 at that time. We'll go ahead and pull up Gas Buddy though, and we'll check out some gas prices that are on Gas Buddy at the moment. That's my favorite place to check to see what's happening. And it also depends where you're at on the island, because some of these places aren't as available depending on where you're at on the island. So we're checking out Gas Buddy here, and you can see that at Sam's, at Costco, we're roughly around the $3.29, $3.27, $3.29. These places typically have cheaper gas prices. Safeway, I know, Safeway will give you 10 cents off per gallon if you have a Safeway card with them and you put in your phone number before you get gas. Little tip there, but you can see AFES, which is military, $3.47 in this one. So things to consider: how much driving you're doing, especially when we're talking about living, right? Do you live in close proximity to where you work? Because that's probably the place that you're traveling the most. And this is going to affect how much you're spending on gas monthly, obviously, plus the kind of car that you drive. If you drive an electric vehicle or a Tesla, that's awesome. You don't have to worry about this. Awesome. Congrats. So things you just got to consider: gas, driving all the time, proximity, where you live and from work and things like that. So like my wife works near Schofield, which is the military base in central Oahu, or kind of central Oahu, close to it. And so she works up there. It's roughly a 25 to 30 minute drive to work every day, depending on traffic. When she's on her way home, sometimes it can take her 45 minutes to get home, maybe even longer. Really depends. That's like traffic's always up in the air. But then you got to think about gas. How much gas is she putting in her car to make this drive 5 days, twice a day, 5 days a week, right? So we got to consider that and those types of things and the mileage on the car. Quick interrupt: if you are liking this video, go ahead and hit the like button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video just like this, talking about living in Hawaii, showing you around Hawaii, more specifically Oahu, but we will get to Maui and Kauai, so stay tuned for that. Okay, and just let me know what you think. Let's go ahead and talk about the water bill. You may have a water bill, you may not have a water bill. So in Hawaii, sometimes, or a lot of times really, but definitely do due diligence and check with either your landlord or if you are buying your HOA. But oftentimes when you purchase a home in a homeowners association, which is very common out here, your water bill will be included in your homeowners association dues. Again, do your due diligence. If you're working with a great agent when you're buying your home, they should be looking through the documents with you to help you pinpoint some of these things and to make note of. That way you understand what kind of monthly payment you are actually coming to, not just your mortgage, but overall monthly payment. Water bill out here, it's not too bad. City water is Board of Water Supply. And so water bills, depending, again, how much you use, how long you're letting the water run, if you're using the dishwasher, how often you're washing clothes, are you running the sprinklers and stuff all the time. These types of things matter when you start to really factor in this bill. So that's why it's hard to really give you like, hey, it's a pinpoint answer of this is how much it is. That's totally dependent on your water usage, just like electric and gas and all these other things. This is just to give you an idea. Water bills can typically be around $125 a month, all dependent on your water usage, how many people are showering in your house and all that stuff. But again, something to consider, and check with your landlord if it's something that's included in your rent, or if you're buying a home out here, if it's something that is included into your HOA or not. You also need to check if you're buying a house in one of the older style communities to make sure that your water is hooked up to the city. Definitely make sure that you are looking into that. We talked about grocery trips in a way. We talked about eggs and milk and some of these other things. Just kind of heading back to that a little bit. So like, again, I shop mostly at Costco, but I do shop at Safeway. I hardly go to the commissary because I don't like driving down there. That's my gas, right? I don't like driving down there. I don't live close, in my opinion, to the commissary, so I don't really go there. But I typically shop at Costco and Safeway. And so when you're considering your overall grocery bill, this is another thing that's just super dependent on how much you eat, how many people you're feeding, and the type of food that you like to eat, and these types of things. So I would definitely prepare for that. I know we've had Costco trips upwards of $500, but I don't go to Costco without, or I go to Costco expecting to spend about $200 to $250 every trip. That's my family, and that's a family of my wife and my 2 boys, and also dogs, right? So let's go ahead and get into housing. Okay, this is obviously one of the biggest costs. We got to live somewhere, right? So this is obviously one of the biggest costs when you're considering moving out here and living in Hawaii. And so when we look at the data here, and again, I'm a real estate agent, so I have access to, you know, the MLS and the real data that's going on inside the MLS. We're going to take a look in here, and we're going to take a deep look into some of these prices. So typically speaking, a lot of people will move out here and they will rent their first year to get comfortable with the island, get a feel for the island, and get a feel for the areas. Explore the areas, look at the neighborhoods, look at the style of homes, start doing the research on our schools, all this type of stuff, to really get the feel. So they're going to rent a lot of times their first year. Some people do come here and buy right off the bat, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to convince you either way. We can definitely get on a call and talk about this, and discuss what your best possible option is for your lifestyle and what you're comfortable with. But we're going to pull up this data here. And so looking at this data, we can see that the average rent price in the Honolulu Board of Realtors High Central MLS is $2,287 a month. That is a lot. That is a lot of money, especially when you could be putting that towards your own mortgage. I can tell you straight up, I used to rent, and we were paying $2,000 a month for a 744 square foot townhome. That's expensive. Again, that's the 2-bedroom, 1-bath I was telling you about. $2,000 a month for that. So if you think, I mean, we rented for 2 years, I put $48,000 into somebody else's mortgage and pocket. But not everybody's in the position to buy at the time or in this moment, and that's perfectly fine. That's, again, just to give you the mindset and perspective. $2,287 is the average. That's from single family homes in some of the most expensive areas all the way down to studio condos combined into one statistic. That does not mean that you're going to come and pay $2,287 for a 500 square foot studio. Okay, that doesn't mean you're going to come and pay $2,287 for a 5-bedroom home either. That's probably going to be around $3,500 to $4,000 a month if you decide to rent at that level. So just to give you a little bit of perspective on what renters can expect. Again, this data is for Oahu. This does not include Maui, Kauai, or anything like that. We are talking specifically about Oahu here in this video. We're going to look at the condo prices. Again, this is all size condos all over the island, all combined into one statistic. We are looking at $527,468 as of the end of May in 2021. That is for what we consider a condo out here. Condos and townhomes are combined into like one word, essentially. Some places maybe townhomes, but we call them all condos, okay? And so if they're not standalone on 5,000 square foot land lot and not a standalone home, then we don't consider it a single family home necessarily. But again, do your due diligence, ask your agent, or you can ask me. And if we start hunting for homes, we can definitely make sure that you are either in a condo or a single family home. But again, we call townhomes condos. Apartments, we call them condos, right? That's just how it is. But like we said, the figure over $527,000. That can be anywhere. And again, I know, like, just ripping off data here, but where I used to live in that small box up on the hill, those condos over there, 2 1s, they are going for roughly around $400,000 in that specific area. So that's just to give you a little bit of an idea. In an area close to where I live now, they're about 3-bedroom, 2-bath style, anywhere from 1,100 to 1,500 square feet, roughly. Those are anywhere from like $570,000 and up to purchase. So, and to rent those out is roughly going to be around $2,500 and up, most likely more right now. So these are things you got to consider. All right, and now we're going to check out the average single family home price. This one's going to hurt a little bit. All right. One of the things, like, people always try to compare places, right? We're always trying to compare places. Well, what is this kind of like? And I actually just had somebody reach out to me from LA. And it was like, well, you know, I'm already used to living expensive, you know, in areas. So why not go ahead and live in Hawaii and pay the same, right? So Hawaii, Prices out here, specifically on Oahu and Maui, are very comparable to that of California. Some places in New York, but most oftentimes these two islands get compared with California, and I'm about to show you why. The average home price as of this recording and what you see on the screen, which is April of 2021, $1,222,700. Okay, yikes. It really depends on the area. It depends on the square footage of the land, the square footage of the home. Again, area, right? We're always location, location, location. Is it on the beach? Is it on the water? What kind of neighborhood is it in? Right? These types of things really play a role in the factor in this price. Now, again, I can tell you where I live, in the neighborhoods that I live in, homes can get upwards of $1 million and they can get as low as 700. Okay. Other areas where the plot of lands may be bigger or on the beach, if you're looking at Kailua and you're looking, this is probably close to Kailua average price. If you are looking to live on the water or close, like walk to the beach, Kailua, like in those rows by the beach, you can expect anywhere from 2.5 million up to 15-ish. That's what's expensive over there. Kaneohe, I've visited homes in Kaneohe that have really large, square footage of land, and the homes are a little bit older, but because the land square footage is so huge, I think the one I visited with my clients was 7,500 square feet of land. Massive amount of land. You really can't find that like anywhere else on the island. But the home was older and it was actually more of a fixer-upper style home, and I believe that home went for close to $800,000. Crazy, right? So these are the types of things that just play out in your mind. Start doing your research. You can visit my website if you want to start looking at homes and getting an idea for. You can search rentals on the site. You can search, purchasing. If you're looking to purchase when you get here, you can search that on the site too. These are the types of things we got to factor in. Diving into some other costs that may affect you are childcare. Oh boy, childcare, that one hit hard. That hit the pockets pretty hard. When my oldest son was younger and we were putting him in preschool. Preschool. So this way the school system works out here, if your child is born after August, so my oldest son, actually, well, both my sons, but we're talking about my oldest, their birthday is in September. Because they are born in September, they have to wait for the following school year so that they can then start. So we then put him in preschool when he was 4, and the full tuition was over $900 a month. At the time, I was not in real estate. I was broke. And so I qualified for some assistance. There are assistance programs out there. You need to look into those if that's something that you're considering. I would highly recommend just checking out to see if you can get any sort of assistance with the preschool cost. They were pretty flexible. He could stay there from basically 7 to 6 at night. That wasn't the case. He always got picked up way earlier than that. But it was over $900 a month for the whole tuition. It was absolutely insane. And let's go ahead and talk about if you're thinking about sending your kids to private school. That's another big thing out here is if families can afford it, they do send their kids to private school. Nothing to say about the education. I'm not going to say it's better or worse or anything like that. I'm just saying you can look into this if you'd like to. But we're going to use Punahou as an example. Punahou has private school all the way from kindergarten to seniors in high school. And we're going to pull up the data here and look directly at their website. And as it states, tuition for the 2020-2021 school year for kindergarten through grade 12 is $26,975. Wow. So that's what you can kind of expect in the general ballpark of private school education system out here. One of the last and hidden costs that you don't hear a lot about is parking. This can be a nuisance. It can be annoying. Parking is insane. Especially if you're going to one of the highly trafficked tourist areas like downtown Waikiki, if you're going to Kailua, these types of areas, parking meters everywhere. It's a pain. It's annoying. Most often though, downtown Waikiki, when you're down there, There's not a lot of places to do free parking. I guess by the zoo, there's some free parking areas by the zoo, but more often than not, those spots are going to be taken because most of us here know that already, and that's not going to be available for you. So you can expect anywhere from $3 an hour and up. It's insane. Like you're paying $12 to go ahead and park, or even more to leave your car there for 2 to 3 hours is crazy. Very, very hidden cost, and these things can add up if you're traveling to these places a lot, right? Everybody always talks about like the Starbucks, adding up the Starbucks if you get Starbucks daily. Well, if you're traveling to town and you're paying for parking a lot, for instance, I have friends who work at hospitals in town. My nurse friends that work at hospitals in town, they have to pay to park in certain structures or certain spots every time they have to go to work. Their job doesn't pay for this. The hospitals don't really pay for this. This is an expense that they incur to work at that hospital. It's insane. And I know because when I was even going through clinical rotations and stuff like that as a student, because I do have a nursing degree, and I don't do that now though, I'm a real estate agent, but I do have a nursing degree. And when I was going through clinicals at certain hospitals in downtown, we had to go and pay to park at a structure for the day, for that clinical for that day, get on a bus, go to the hospital on the bus, and then get back on the bus, go back to our car, right, for afterwards. But yeah, we had to pay every time for that. But people do that on the regular out here. So paying for parking is just one of these hidden costs that can just start to slowly affect your pockets if that's the case. All right, guys, and I just want to say thank you for watching this entire video. If you made it all the way to the end, and please remember that I am a real estate agent out here in Hawaii, on Oahu. If you're moving anywhere in Hawaii, you got to reach out, you got to give me a call, you got to shoot me a text, you got to send me an email. You can even schedule a Zoom down in the description below. However you want to get a hold of me, all right? I got your back when moving to Hawaii. And I've got plenty of other videos on my channel that are going to start popping up here at the end of this video. We got vlog tours of some of the areas. We got plenty more coming. We got a ton of other areas to cover. We've got other videos talking about other places to area, some of the top neighborhoods. So feel free to go ahead and check out any of these playlists because I got your back when moving to Hawaii.